bad, but I do agree with getting +1 weapons. Of course, the point of Blink Harass is to be cost-effective and do damage, and if you're not going to have the huge Zealot count, since you're warping in mostly Stalkers, getting that is totally reasonable. We see that the Observer is picked off by the Vikings. And a scary army from xOSeither is going to be rolling up here into the third. It's too late to cancel. It's just going to have to deal with it. Should be able to get some good force skills. Placed on the Guardian Shield. Very nice. Going to deny most of this. And, of course, the Bio can't get a good angle on the Colossi, but the Vikings always can. He's going to work on those. Blink also good for dealing with Vikings. Actually going to be able to pick both of those off. Very, very nice. We have a drop getting ready to come in here, but xEw's army really picking up on this rather well. It looks like, actually, it already was denied. 12 workers killed, though, so far for xOSeither, so he is getting work done and slowly chipping away at any lead the Protoss might have. 63 probes, or 58 probes to 63 SCVs, and we've got 2 active mules, which could be 3 at any time, since we are operating off of 3 orbitals here. Ghost Academy on the way, so he's keeping in pace with xEw, who is getting that storm up. And that's good. You see a lot of Terrans will delay that Ghost Academy, try to win with a Marine Marauder, Medevac, and Viking Ball, and a lot of the times they will get crushed by Storm, especially attacking up into the third on Cloud Kingdom. You've got to be so careful. We do have 3 Templar out that should be Storm ready. Definitely will be Storm ready by the time Storm is done completing a scan here. Going to see absolutely everything, although the factory saw it as well. xOSeither is getting those Vikings in position. His Viking count is at 5. Not sure where they all are. We got 2 right here. Looks like these guys are ready to pillage, joining the rest of their brethren. Do we have charge on these Zealots yet? Ooh, we do have that. So we have Blink charge. We have a pretty strong army here for xEw, except the upgrades are not super duper. 2-1 on the Bio and only 1-0 on the army of xEw. He's getting that +2 weapons, but we don't have a second forge. And of course, those armor upgrades are very useful for Zealots against the Bio Ball. xEw in position to pick off any incoming medevacs. Doesn't really have vision on the lower right portion of the map, though. However, this Observer is definitely worth its weight in gold, because right now, it sees that xEw is back at home, or xOSeither is back at home, rather, which is going to give xEw a bit of time to warp in more Templar and build up a bigger army. And even though his army supply is smaller by 30 supply here, Templar have the potential to be one of the most cost-effective units in the games, except for Infestors, cough, cough. So he should be in a decently good position. We're going to see a 4th coming down here for him. And he does have the scout on xOSeither's 4th as well. And one of the general rules of thumb, at least up to the 3rd base, is don't expand until your opponent expands in PvT from the Protoss side of you, because you can very, very easily get punished for being greedy in a PvT. It's a very, very close matchup. Now, this Medevac is going to be coming over here on the right, and it should get right past xEw's army. If he sees it, though, he'll be able to blink under everything and kill it. Now we're going to see the engagement coming up, but oh, wow, the army is actually totally split, and if the Terran decides to engage here, it could be very good. He's actually going to blink ahead. He wants to pull that army back and drop some storms, but nice pullbacks there. He's actually going to catch a lot of the ghosts. Very nice kills there for xEw, and that should force xOSeither back home, blinking ahead, trying to do what he can, but we do have the drop going down. However, Zealots warping in all around it while the cannon dealt some damage, and it should be able to clean this up. Looks like without those armor upgrades, those Zealots aren't as valuable, but he will be able to pull back and secure this 4th, and of course, taking this high ground is so important. Wouldn't surprise me if xEw stuck his army up there. That's always a very good place to be. And now we can settle down a little bit. Very good upgrades for the Terrans. xOSeither's 2 level 3 weapons soon to complete, level 2 armor on the way here. And xEw is just going for those weapons. No armor at all. Not something you usually see in PvT. We'll have to see how it works out for him. His Zealot count is at 21, so those armor upgrades would be very useful, but he really wants to powerhouse that damage. Now, how many Templar do we have? 10 Templar. Where are all of them right now? We actually see some snipes going down on those Templar. Very nice there from the Terran. Engaging into this high ground is hard, though. He's got to be careful, but without much splash damage, the Storm's not hitting where they need to hit. The EMPs from the Ghost doing good damage. He's going to storm those Vikings, do some damage to those as well, but where are all those Templar? Looks like we have a few back at home, possibly leaving 1 or 2 in mineral lines to snipe off drops and defend any sort of counterattacks, but now the Templar count is down to 9. I just don't know where all these Templar are. Okay, there we go. We have 5 here, 4 here. That adds up to 9 last time I checked, so we are fully in track of these Templar. 5th Command Center coming up here for xOSeither, and he's in a pretty commanding position. His upgrades are good. Take a look at the units lost tab. He is not doing so hot, but with some Dynamite EMPs, the way the Storms have been going for xEw, he might not be able to properly engage. However, Protoss on 4 bases is nothing to trifle with. We see the +1 armor has finished now for xShew, getting that +2 armor and +3 weapons as well. But now it is time for xOSeither to be aggressive. Most of his drops did okay damage, a total of 12 workers killed, 73 probes on the field though, so that economic advantage has been knocked away. We do see a drop working on the high ground, killing a couple of more probes, stimming, and then just kind of standing there enjoying the drugs, not really doing too much with them. But now he's going to be pushing up in here. The army a little bit split. A couple of the Colossi caught over here, but he does have the potential to sandwich this army. But is his army going to trickle in a bit too slowly? Everything engaging before the Templar gets here, because those Templar do tend to lag behind. But he's actually got 3 angles of attack, and there's really nowhere to run in terms of these storms. He's just going to be running into more warpins from the high ground. But oh, actually kind of storing his own units. There's a dynamite storm for the Protoss, but is it going to be enough? xOSeither, it looks like he's actually going to clean everything up. This could be the end of it all. I actually don't believe it. I thought the Protoss had a really good chance there. The drop over here at the natural is going to deal with all of these cannons, and by natural, I mean 4th base. The Zealots do not want to engage down that ramp. This is such an awkward position for those units. We have xShew with a lot of bank, but looks like he just doesn't quite have enough warp gates. How many warp gates does he have? I'm not quite sure. At least 9 at the moment. And now it looks like xOSeither is actually just going to be able to snipe this Nexus. The Zealot's going to choose this moment to engage, but he can really just pick up and leave. And it looks like that's what he is going to do. And that is what happens when you lose all of your Stalkers and you warp in Zealots to defend, which is just the reactive thing. Meanwhile, this small amount of bio is actually going to take out this Nexus. xOSeither doing incredible damage with this attack, and it was very well executed. Protoss, unfortunately, could not regroup. Now, he does have a pretty scary army. He's on 2-2, but the Terran is on 3-2, soon to be 3-3, and of course he's operating off of 5 bases, while xShew has got 2 very important Nexuses sniped. Take a look at xOSeither's vision. He has not quite seen this Nexus, but he does see this army coming in. This is a planetary, though, and he is immediately surrounding that, and really, xShew just can't afford to trade with a planetary and an army right now. Looks like he is going to be forced to pull back. Couple of Colossi out here, not a lot of Vikings, but also nothing to pick the Vikings off. The Archons do not want to get that up close and personal to the Bio Ball, and it looks like they're going to be picked off as they run away, as a matter of fact. xShew being forced back into a defensive position while he remakes his 3rd. And we do have another Nexus coming in somewhere. Oh yeah, his natural got sniped, so that is a lot of damage that was done. Take a look at the income. Very, very small for the Protoss player. And now the army supply is 115 to 49. xShew is not starting those level 3 upgrades, and level 3 armor, of course, on the way for xOSeither. They're going to pick off that Observer, because damn it, Observer, get out my house. And wow, a total of 10 ghosts here. 13 ghosts somewhere. 13 ghosts, isn't that a movie? Well, now it is a game, and he is going to have a lot of EMPs to use. And frankly, he should be able to blanket the entire army. xShew is going to try to use this high ground to his advantage, though. If xOSeither wants to go in through a killing blow, he has to go in through the killing floor. Meanwhile, this Nexus gets picked off by this small amount of bio. This has to be the least amount of bio to ever kill that many Nexuses. If there was some kind of equation for that, Nexi, whatever, I would not be surprised if these guys took the medal. And now xOSeither going to come in through the same attack path, so he's not going to be walking in where these storms can happen. Of course, that's smartly done by him. There are the cloaked ghosts. He's going to pick off all of the Templar before they even get a chance to storm, and that is GG from xShew. xOSeither going to take a game for XO Gaming and going to tie this clan war between Clarity and XO up 1-1. And we can leave with this cool little EMP just about to explode. Very, very nice. It's going supernova, but we are not going to be able to see it. What we are going to do is move into Game 3, as xOSeither will take on the next player from Clarity Gaming.